Okay, so hello everyone. Today we have a special guest on our channel. We have Ashwin. So Ashwin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you. So I'm Ashwith, and I'm actually currently pursuing my fourth year BTech degree in Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, Coimbatore. So I've recently got placed in SAP Labs, and I'm here to actually give my experience and a few tips to actually crack the interview process.
Okay, man. So let's get straight into it. Tell us about the rounds, the questions, everything in details.
So actually, I had two technical rounds, and I had a managerial, and finally I had a HR.
Okay.
So the technical round, initially there was a brief introduction about myself, and straight away they asked about my projects and the workshops or the certifications that I have actually got received. And then they asked and then they asked me about the languages which I'm actually strong at with the base. So and like for example like Java or C++ or C, and they'll actually ask questions like related to that language. And then finally I was asked to actually code two programs. I remember one was with linked list, and another was related to arrays. So this was actually my technical round one, and I was shortlisted for the technical round two. So there I was actually asked only for a short introduction and then directly dive down into the technical part. So they've asked me. So it was kind of similar to the technical round one, where they've asked me the strong base of the language which I actually know. So they'll actually ask kind of interior questions inside that language, and then they've asked questions based on the database. So they for example they would give a scenario, so I should design a database system for that, and then they would ask questions based on that the design that you build, like querying any data for that scenario that you build.
Yeah.
So and then they asked few questions about cloud computing, because I actually had a project related to it.
Yeah.
And then I was asked one or two basic aptitude problems. So this was all about my technical round two. And then the managerial round, it was actually a normal round where we had casual conversations also. So this included a brief introduction about myself, and which was actually not mentioned in the resume. So and then we had few chats about the managerial person actually asked me questions about the leadership skills, and it's questions related to leadership skills. So this was actually about it. For example, like what motivates you to go to college
Yeah.
every morning other than your academics, like etc.
Mhm.
So and then like I was asked questions like what SAP technologies, SAP technologies that you know, and I was asked about my hobbies as such. So this was actually about my managerial round, and finally I had my HR round. So the HR round actually was a formal conversation.
Mhm.
So this so I was asked a few questions what they'll ask me, tell me a situations where you came where you overcame like difficult situations in life.
Yeah.
So I should give examples for that, and when there was like a casual conversations, they might actually ask you certain questions to actually test your ability to
Mhm.
situations, whether you have the ability to adapt to situations easily and simultaneously, and to handle simultaneous tasks when required.
Mhm. Yeah.
So this was all about my HR round.
Okay. What about the online coding round? What about the problems that you had in online coding round?
Yeah, so initially there was an online coding round in a platform. So there were three questions with a time frame.
Mhm.
So those three questions were related to strings, arrays, and linked lists. So it was actually a mixture of questions. Like everybody gets shuffled questions. So this was actually the first round, and after which we were shortlisted for the interviews.
Okay. What would you say were the difficulty of the coding problems in the coding rounds and in the technical rounds?
Yeah, so initial coding round, which was conducted for everybody before the interview, that was actually I would rate the difficulty level as easy and medium. It was mixed. It was a mix of both,
Mhm.
maybe like two easy and one medium.
Mhm.
But obviously they'll shortlist based on the time frame, so you should
Yeah.
always be fast also while doing your coding rounds.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your technical round, so the coding questions, I would rate it to medium, because there won't be any questions that would be really difficult, but it would be kind of tricky, but it would be of the difficulty level of medium.
Okay, so SAP Labs is a dream company for a lot of people. It hires it offers a nice package, and a lot of people want to join SAP Labs. So, what advice would you give to people who want to join SAP Labs, like how to prepare so they can also crack the interview?
So yeah, so I would actually suggest you all to be, strong in your fundamentals, like whatever programming language you master at,
Yeah.
let it be Java or C++ or whatever language it is, and then be make sure that like you know everything what you've mentioned in your resume during your interviews, like including your workshops, certifications, and projects, because you can they can ask questions from any nook and corner of your resume, because it's
Mm-hmm.
really crucial.
Yeah.
So get yourself strong in your programming languages and fundamentals, and I would suggest you to be kind of I mean, I would suggest you to actually code and lead code chef for the data structure problems and DB problems as well, and get yourself strong in your fundamentals of the database management system.
So, to put it in a nutshell, you should be very strong in one programming language. You should have appropriate knowledge of DSA for problem solving, database, and you should know very well what's there in your resume, right?
Yeah. So apart from the programming language part, what I suggest is, if you are actually strong with the concepts of data structures and DBMS, implementing it in like different programming languages won't actually be a bigger task
Yeah.
for you.
Okay, so I guess that was about it. Thanks a lot, Ashwin, for coming on my channel and sharing your experience and knowledge with me and my subscriber. And I hope it'll help a lot of people who want to crack SAP Labs. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for giving this opportunity to share my experience, and all the very best for all the peeps who are actually trying to crack the interviews.
Okay.